The big one just got bigger. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown in the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series men's main event. This is going to be the big one. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Who has total team brand supremacy? You can say what you want to about the women's. You can say what you want to about the tag team. But honestly, in my mind, the only Survivor Series match that means something at Survivor Series to me is the men's one. This one is going to be the one for all the marbles. You can see that by them taking Baron Corbin out of the match, inserting Shane McMahon, that this is a big time match. This is going to be a lot of dream matches. I think you're going to see a lot of things being set up for future big shows, whether that's WrestleMania or anything else. You're going to be seeing a lot of things, pair off, whether that's alliances made, where you see AJ Styles maybe taken out by the Shield with Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins, all getting their hands on this guy all at the same time. That might be a little bit far stretched because of the fact that AJ won the World Heavyweight Championship after leaving it, but they have to sort of turn on somebody. There has to be some sort of bickering. There has to be some sort of a fighting between everybody in here. Maybe Dean Ambrose just has a common, grudge against Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is somebody that rose to the main event after the brand split, so it has to make sense. Somewhere in there we see a triple power bomb. It'd be a little bit, weird because of the fact that they're on two separate teams, but they were all involved in a fatal four-way when they did it to Randy Orton. They all decided to team up for a few seconds before Reigns and Ambrose started beating up on Rollins because he started to gloat a little bit too much in there. Word coming out of this match is that Randy Orton is going to be taking time off after the Survivor Series match. Kind of weird that they already started him on the Bray Wyatt storyline, and now here he is going to be going absent. It wouldn't make sense to me if this is where you see Randy Orton turn on Bray Wyatt, maybe hitting an RKO on Bray, and because you would think he would want to show up on SmackDown and gloat about it. So I don't know. It seems like it's kind of weird to me. Randy Orton has always been sort of a wild card. I don't want to say that he has experiences of just saying that he's coming and going as he pleases, but Orton is a guy that surprises me at times and has really good matches that I really like. But Orton is also a guy that a lot of times to me, if you've seen it once, you've seen it all. He's just not my guy. That's honestly the best way to put it. I'm glad that he's in WWE, but if he wasn't there, I don't think that I would really be crying about it. And I know that he has a lot of fans out there, so a lot of people might not understand that at the same time. Shane being added into this, that he's going to have one special spot, sort of like everybody knew that once it was named, it was going to be a Hell in the Cell match at WrestleMania 32. Everybody knew Shane was jumping off that cell. I don't think anybody thought that he was going to be jumping off and trying to land on the Undertaker on top of the announce table. No, I don't think anybody thought that Shane was going to jump off the top and miss, but everybody knew that Shane was going to get his WrestleMania moment, and him beating, I think he beat X-Pac at WrestleMania 15. I honestly don't remember. I know they had a match and they beat the piss out of each other, and that was pretty fun. But I think with all the outside interferences, whether if that was the Mean Street Posse or Patterson and Briscoe, no, because I was going to say that when Triple H came out there and turned on him, was it during that match? Because Triple H fought Kane? And maybe it was Triple H who turned on X-Pac, and that's why he lost that match. I can't really remember. It's been a while. That's easy to say. But as we saw on Monday Night Raw, their team doesn't all get along as well. I mean, you've got Jericho and Owens. They're a strong unit. You've got Rollins and you've got Reigns. They really haven't patched things up 100% yet since their time fighting over the Shield. Braun Strowman has come out and said that he's on Team Braun Strowman, and the only guy he's really looking out for is himself. even though Jericho and Owens have tried their best to recruit him in. The biggest thing that I see going down, and I don't think he's going to be involved at Survivor Series, I just think that he is sort of like a money in the bank factor. When somebody has the money in the bank briefcase, you always have to be wondering, is this guy going to be showing up at the pay-per-view? It's almost like every time you make a prediction video, you have to talk about the WWE Championship match, and then you have to make a thought at the end of it if you think that he's going to be cashing it in, if you think that that's, when Sheamus had it, or if it's when Seth Rollins had it, or anybody in the past, but Undertaker, he basically threatened everyone on Team SmackDown that if there was, anybody letting down this team, Undertaker believes that he bleeds Team SmackDown, that he bleeds Team Blue. He's been on this brand since day one. Even though he wasn't drafted, he still feels like he's a part of it. And it makes sense. In my mind, I want to see it as basically building to AJ versus Undertaker, which in my mind is a little bit of a stretch because of what the Undertaker is and what AJ Styles is. Even though he's WWE World Heavyweight Champion, it's hard to think of a guy like that you're going to a guy like The Undertaker, but maybe this is somebody that The Undertaker's wanted to work with for a while or something like that. Maybe he's on a short dream list of opponents, or maybe it's just he wants to wrestle. WWE doesn't know what to do with him, so they have to give him just sort of a main event guy. In my mind, when I thought about like Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose, that match at WrestleMania didn't really make sense to me, and it just sort of seemed like it was a pushover, even though I kept pushing for the fact that I want Brock to lose that match to Ambrose, thinking that it would mean a whole lot for Ambrose, and it wouldn't really mean a lot to Brock in the long run, knowing that we wouldn't see him until SummerSlam. So, we've already seen Undertaker against Shane, we've already seen Undertaker against Randy, we've already seen Undertaker against Bray, so I think it builds to him and AJ. Maybe that means Cena wins the Rumble, and we finally get Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 33, but this is going to be a fun match. I'm really picking Team Raw on this one. And if you go back to my last video that I made last week, I was picking SmackDown. But the whole Undertaker thing's got me all in arms, and I think it's going down on Sunday.